Confidence is cool, but then what is cool? I was talking to someone else about this the other day, and I was like, I find, someone waiting in a line outside my gig for like an hour with a pride flag, I think that they're like the coolest person ever with like glitter on their face. They're cool and they're themselves. It's weird because, a lot of people think that this person is cool. There's like cool that appeals to everyone, but then there's like maybe this is actually what's cool. Like, what even is cool? And being cool doesn't even matter. Like, I'm writing a song about cool, but it's like cool means nothing. Like, I'm just contradicting myself. I don't actually give a heck about being cool. This is just ridiculous. Cool happened in the little studio I've been making all of my music in New Zealand called Golden Age, and I worked with my producer Josh Fountain and a guy called Jason Shushkov. It was just going in and wanting to try something kind of new and funky. I like the whole kind of self-deprecating approach to songwriting, and I think that that's kind of what I was doing with this one. I was actually writing about a couple of artists, musicians that I think are really cool. You're so outspoken, have control when you walk into the room, you show them. I had like this very clear image in my head when I was writing this song, and I think it was very much like a kind of story that I was making up. Definitely inspired by a couple of like female artists who I think are just like fucking cool. I was kind of imagining like a lady like walking into a party with like a velvet like red coat or something, and just like everyone's just looking at them. They look fine as hell, and they're just like cool, and they look super chill. And I was just thinking like, I don't understand how people do that, Like when I get to a party, like I stand outside and wait until I can find someone that I know, or it's like no go. Like I don't go in, You're outside smoking, your skin is glowing. You're like an angel out of this world. It totally happens. Like there are people like this, who you see kind of rock up to like events or whatever, and they just look cool, and they look like very much like they're just super kind of comfortable with themselves. And I think that that's something that I definitely admire, but I also kind of envy, because it's like, why can't I be like that, I love your confidence, you strike, I want to dip into your life. It's like kind of a weird song because it does kind of sound like I'm wanting to be like someone else, but I think it's more like the dip into your life is maybe that I just want to get a taste of what it would be like to not like be anxious, or to kind of, to be able to go outside and not have to like stress. I can't go to a shop by myself without like being anxious. Like I have to bring someone with me. I'm ridiculous. But there are so many people who like, even like some of my mates go to the supermarket by themselves and they're chill as, and I'm like, what's wrong with me? So I think it's more like I'd like to taste what this life is like being a chill, independent woman. You hear people talking about anxiety, and then you suddenly like, it comes into your life and you're like, whoa, I understand. You float around without a care. I love your steez and what you wear. I really wanted to incorporate the word steez, because it's like something that everyone here says in New Zealand. They're like, oh yeah, that girl's steezy ass, or like, ooh, like they see like a cool like skirt and they're like, ooh, she's steezy. Yeah, I was definitely kind of thinking of like imagery that I could kind of, weave in here, and I think that it was just about painting this picture of this person who dresses cool. They kind of know they're cool. Everyone thinks they're cool. Everything just seems really cool. But then, like, do they think they're cool? Maybe. Maybe they do. Maybe they don't. Who knows? And I stay at home most of the time. You're so badass, owning the night. So badass. This is the Prairie. The Prairie kind of is now talking about myself, who often stays at home. I am a homebody. I like to party sometimes, but I do enjoy my alone time. And I think that that's also kind of comparing myself to like someone who like is just like a socialite, like just, or like social butterfly. They just feed off like meeting people and going to events and mingling. And some people are really good at it. Like some people are fire at that stuff, but me, I don't know. I sometimes would prefer to stay at home. So badass was kind of like, so badass, because it's kind of, I am actually meaning this. Like I am saying that they're cool, but at the same time, it's like badass is kind of just like a funny word. Like, doesn't really matter. Fuck, I wish I could be like you. Fuck, I wish I could be cool like you. I say stupid stuff, yeah, and embarrass myself because I'm dumb. I think this is maybe when the kind of sarcasm comes in, where I'm kind of just like, fuck, I wish I could be like, because it's kind of like, but then it's like, no, I actually don't. I had a lot of fun like singing this. With pretty much all of the music I've made recently, it's like a matter of me having my lyrics written down and then going in and like freestyling. And I think that it was just like, this just came out when I heard the beat, and I was trying to record the chorus vocals, and I kind of just, it was like, I was just screaming it. Like, I was like, fuck, I wish I could be like you. I'm not very cool, it sucks. I suck, I want to be like you. I say stupid stuff, and I embarrass myself. Cool. I'm pretty bad at like saying something in like an interview or like meeting someone who I like admire and just saying something really, really dumb and then just thinking about it for like months. And then there will come like a time when I'll be like, it doesn't matter. Like, nothing actually matters that I say. Like, if someone is going to judge you for something dumb that you say, it's like, man, there is plenty more where that came from, so we're not going to get along, Everyone's always like, what artist would you want to meet? And I'm like, none. Straight up. I don't want to meet anyone who I love because I will say something silly. I'm mesmerized by what you say, but you don't know that I exist. People can't keep themselves away like they're under some kind of spell. I think that this is probably, a verse that a lot of listeners can relate to, thinking about artists they love. I think there's this weird thing where you can become so obsessed with an artist, then think like they don't even know who I am, which is a horrible feeling. Like they could be like under a spell. It's like this weird thing that artists kind of do have this effect on humans. Like, people will kind of forget that they're a human. I remember like I supported like Lily Allen in New Zealand when she played a show here, and she like came around the corner, and I had never really seen like anyone, like any kind of like star before. And she walked around the corner and I said something so dumb. I was like, holy crumble cakes, or like something just like so like, are you 5? It was just really awkward. And I was like, right, that's the end. I'm going to go into a hole and stay there for a little while.